Semantic atomic theory, or the semantic interpretation of atomic theory, is the idea that atoms are symbols of meaning. And instead of the classical properties such as energy, momentum, angular momentum, and spin, these atoms possess semantic properties which are called beauty, power, wealth, and fame. Once we change the properties by which matter is described, we also change the nature of forces. Instead of the mechanical push and pull forces of modern science, we have to now use the forces of consistency, competition, cooperation, and completion that operate between the meanings. So there's a different idea about material properties and then a different idea about material force. And this is what I mean by semantic atomic theory. Once we understand this new kind of atomism, we can also talk about a different kind of technology which can emerge from the understanding of this atomism. In Vedic philosophy, there are no distinctions such as physics, chemistry, biology, psychology, etc. These divisions are the creations of modern Western science. Modern science believes that there are different objects or targets for different kinds of studies of the external world. In Vedic philosophy, we are not studying the world. We are rather studying conscious experience. When you have conscious experience, you do not only have sensations. You also have thoughts, judgments, emotions, and morals, quite apart from the objects that you are studying. In fact, all these are simply aspects of our conscious experience. You cannot say that I will have sensation but not thought and judgment. In every perception, we have all these aspects existing together. Therefore, when we study experience, we can speak about the many distinct aspects, but we study all of them. Similarly, whether we study physics, chemistry, or biology, from the standpoint of conscious experience, we are having sensations, concepts, judgments, intentions, and morals. So the physicist might think that he is studying a different subject from the chemist, and the chemist might think that their work is different from a biologist. But from the standpoint of Vedic philosophy, we never study physics, chemistry, or biology. We always study components of conscious experience and their creation. And all these components exist in every type of experience, whether you study physics, chemistry, or biology. Therefore, these distinctions called physics, chemistry, and biology have no meaning in Vedic philosophy because the goal is to study the creation of conscious experience, and physics, chemistry, or biology are included in that. Hence, in Vedic philosophy, we are not studying parts of the world, we are rather studying the parts of conscious experience. The Vedic material elements are components of this experience. Every experience contains all the components or parts. Therefore, unlike modern science where we separate out all these subjects like physics, chemistry, and biology, we never separate them in Vedic philosophy. Nevertheless, the material objects, the properties in terms of which we study these objects, the senses, the mind, the intellect, the ego, and morality, which are all constituents of human experience, are built up from atoms. These atoms are physically small. In fact, they are so small that each atom constitutes a position or location in space. This position, however, is not an infinitesimal point. The atoms in Vedic philosophy are small vibrations, and these vibrations are termed Shabda or sound. To vibrate, each atom has to have a form because infinitesimal points cannot vibrate. Due to this form, the location it occupies also has the same form. In fact, the form of the object and the form of the location are identical. Therefore, space location is not an infinitesimal point, and space is not infinitesimally divisible into points. Each location has a form, so the position is only as big as it needs to hold the form of the symbol and no bigger. These locations are also defined in hierarchy to other locations, which we have discussed earlier in the podcast, the tree of meanings. Therefore, not only are we changing the notion of a location, but also the notion of distance between locations. It becomes hierarchical space or a tree-like structure. The fact that these atoms are small and therefore have a definite position in space does not, however, tell us the main thing about Vedic ideology, which is that the atoms are symbols of meaning. I can create a symbol that denotes the meaning universe. The symbol can be physically small, but the meaning of the symbol is very big. Therefore, once we study symbols, the physical properties are detached from the meanings. For example, a small thing can represent a big idea, and a big thing can represent a small idea. As a result, we now focus on a new type of causality based on the meaning rather than the physical property. Therefore, even though the thing is physically very small, it has a big effect, provided it is a symbol of a big meaning. Therefore, the laws of nature that are based on big and small physical things become completely irrelevant. Only the laws that deal with the big or small meanings are relevant. Thus, Vedic philosophy is studying symbols, and the meaning of the symbol is given in relation to a higher symbol, but each symbol is by itself a vibration. If we study these symbols simply as vibrations, then we see them physically. However, when the symbols are embodiments of meaning given through a hierarchy of symbols, then the same word is described or understood as meaning. Therefore, the main difference between physical and semantic atomism is hierarchy. Modern science studies, does not study this hierarchy or neglects the hierarchy and, vibrations of physical particles interacting with each other through a force field. In the semantic picture, the same physical particles are symbols of meaning, and the force field is the hierarchy that connects a symbol to other symbols. The physical particle and the force field of modern science changes into a theory of meaning and symbols. Therefore, the term Vedic physics would mean that I am studying the vibration physically, which is wrong. It's the study of meaning through and through.